It's time to go to Starkville, Mississippi. We're going to be with Scott Stricklin, who is the athletic director, and then we're going to be with the Mississippi State University golf team at Old Waverly. Beautiful place. We look forward to sharing these stories with you on the road in between.
Thoughts keep running through my head as I walk this road with nothing ahead. The sun beams down on my face as I walk this road that leads to amazing grace.
John O'Neill Johnson Toyota has been serving customers for over 20 years with integrity, honesty, and value. We want to thank you, our customers, for helping us win so many awards. Now we're #1 in Gulf States Toyota for market share 2 years in a row. Multiple winner of Toyota's President Award and 6-time Gold Dealer recognition. And the reason is simple. Customer satisfaction is our #1 priority.
John O'Neill Johnson, a name you can trust. Toyota, a product you can depend on.
Coming up next on the road in between.
A lot of people have helped get me here. My sisters always had my back. My buddies, Sonny and Sean. The crew, pushing me to be faster. Amy, reminding me to enjoy the moment. And Nationwide, who I've personally been with for 25 years. It's never been just me out there. Nationwide is on your side.
We are here at the Chapel of Memories. I'm with Scott Stricklin. Scott, thank you for being with us on the road in between.
Thank you, Tom. Great to be with you.
We are grateful. We are right here, and this is kind of the center of the campus.
Absolutely. It's Chapel of Memories was built in 1965. There's a great story behind its construction. Mississippi State used to have the largest single house dorm on the campus called Old Main, and it burned down in 1959. It was a massive structure. It sits where the Union and McCool Hall currently are, and they took some of the reclaimed bricks from that project, from that fire, and they built this the Chapel of Memories, and it's been here since the mid-60s, and a lot of weddings and a lot of memories get made at the Chapel of Memories.
Fantastic. That's kind of our story, you know, is God recreates out of the ashes. God gives us resurrection, obviously at the end of life, but also along the way on our road in between. And I know you've had a wonderful career working your way through media relations, and now as the director of athletics here at Mississippi State. And can you tell us a little bit about your journey?
I was fortunate. I have 2 loving parents who made God a priority in our life and our family, and not only made God a priority, made church and being around other Christians a priority. And the other thing my parents did is, in addition to love, they gave us a lot of confidence and belief, and a lot of that came from understanding that God has a plan, and if we trust and have faith and are obedient, then he'll honor us with that plan. And so I came to Mississippi State, didn't really know what I wanted to do. I think my parents were a little bit worried about that part of it, and I came up here, and actually my first day as a freshman, I volunteered to work in the athletic department in the media relations office, and I ended up doing that my entire undergraduate career. It was almost, I ended up devoting a lot of time up there, and it was a great opportunity to get experience, to be around a college athletic department in the SEC, and get to know the coaches and the athletes and the administrators, but also the visiting coaches when they come in, and the media. And I was, as an 18, 20-year-old kid, I didn't think there was anything better. I thought I'd hit the height of my life. And
good choice of major right there. That was terrific.
Yeah, well, and fortunately, I figured out how to convert that into a job when I graduated, and have been in athletics ever since, and just feel really blessed to be in an area that I have a passion about. And people, I talk to young people all the time. They're like, I don't know what I want to do. I think I'd like to do this, and I want God to make that happen. And I tell them, the true gift, one of the true gifts God gives us, isn't when He makes when he gives us what our passion is, but when he makes our passion what his will for us is, when he matches that up. And so I tell him, hey, just pray that whatever God's will is, it becomes a passion for you. And if this is what it is, great. And for me, I feel like he synced that up, and that's a great blessing, and I've been able to make a career out of it.
You have, and you bring a lot of energy. And the word enthusiasm is the word entheos. People say, why do you have such energy? Well, when you're in God, in Christ, you have this joy that's deeper than happiness. And it's the sense that you are in God's will. And that gives you energy. And you certainly have got that. And you grew up in the church.
I did. And you know, it's you feel a lot of times, I think, when you grow up in the church that you don't have this wonderful, dramatic, life-changing story as people who may have come to Christ later in life. But I consider it such a blessing that, you know, as I said, my parents kind of modeled an example for me, and I think I think about things that they did often now that especially now that I have a family and I have kids, and how my parents handle things, and so then in our role we've got to model that for others, right? We've got to, whether it's our own children or people we work with, friends, employees, whatever, we've got to make sure we're modeling Christ and a God-centered life, and make sure they understand what our focus is.
You're at a fantastic time of your life, and as director of athletics here, you have the opportunity to shape this whole university, and that sense of discernment of, you know, who do you hire, and when is it time to move forward in a new season. I know that's a difficult part of your job.
No question, making personnel changes is always difficult, and a lot of times you realize often after the fact that not only was it, when you make those changes, was it best for the institution or the school, it's probably best for that person too. It's not always easy to say that and have that conversation, but oftentimes that proves to be the case. You know, and I think that's where faith really comes in, is when you have difficult decisions you have to make. You have to have difficult conversations. You want to have those with as much humanity as possible, as much respect for the other person as possible, and I think, you know, having God in your life allows you to understand that part of it. You know, God, it's so interesting to go back and look at Christ's life. And when you read the Gospels, you know, Jesus had a lot of difficult conversations with people. And when he had it, he was pretty, he had a lot of humanity in him. You know, he really reached people on their level. And what a great gift he had at that. And that's a hard thing sometimes for us to do. But if we have Christ in our life, obviously it's easier to do it. But, you know, you talked about the platform or the opportunity working in college athletics. And, you know, especially in the South, where athletics is such an important part of our culture and our society. And
it's a religion.
Yeah, you know, on Saturdays in the fall, it brings so many people together, family and friends, and it really does provide us an unbelievable platform. And I remember, you know, my journey to become an athletic director is one that a man could have never laid it out the way it happened. And as a young person, like a lot of people do, I tried to plot it out myself.
Yeah, connect the dots.
And you know, I finally had to sit back and let God say, "You just sit back, you just do what I'm having you do at the moment, and I'll lead you where I want you to go." And He did that. And when I ended up as athletic director here at Mississippi State, the thought dawned on me that, okay, God has opened these doors and put me in this position. It's not for me. He didn't put me in this position to honor me or to reward me. He's doing this because He's got a bigger purpose, and I need to figure out where I fit.
Yes.
And so I try to be mindful of that on a daily basis. And sometimes you get bogged down with the troubles that we all have, and you lose sight of that. But I really try to stay focused on. It's about these students who come into our program. We have 350 athletes who are representing Mississippi State, who are students here at MSU, and they're trying to get a degree. And obviously, they're getting ready for their next stage of life when they leave here. And we have a real duty to make sure that we nurture them and mentor them and care for them. We have about 170 staff members, and they're the ones oftentimes actually, you know, touching and being with the students. And so it's important that we get the right people and that they have the right heart and the right kind of understanding of why we're here. And then we represent 120,000 living alumni, 20,000 students on this campus, people who love this university, and it's really important that we represent that the right way. And so it's a great platform. We're really proud and honored to get to be a part of it, but we're well aware that it's far bigger than winning games, and it's far bigger than any one football season or any one year in the school academic calendar. It's part of a bigger story.
You know, a lot of the athletes that deal with criticism through social media, it seems it's so difficult now to teach the student athletes that sometimes it's better not even to look at it, right?
Right.
And probably has to be some education involved in that.
I tell you what, I'm 45 now. It's hard.
Today's your birthday.
Today's my birthday. It's hard for me to deal with criticism, and I don't deal with it well. I can't imagine what 18 to 22-year-old who is because they're really athletic and fast, they can be on national TV performing something at a high level, and they get back in the locker room after the game and they pick up that phone and they start looking at the mentions, and it's either going to be one or the other. It's never going to be, hey, decent game. It's always going to be great game, or what in the world were you thinking? You're a disgrace. Yep. And that's a real challenge. I worry about that because I think it takes such a well-grounded person not to get caught up in that. And I say that as someone who, at 45 years old, I struggle with that myself.
Sure.
And so it's there's from the applause of man, sometimes it's easy to drink that up and think you're special. And then also when people are piling on, it's easy to think you're not worth anything. And that's a real prayer I have for our student athletes, that they not get caught up in that. And we try to help them. We try to encourage them on how they manage that as best as possible.
And the best lessons are when you do mess up rather than when you're so successful. Seems to be that's when most of us really grow.
I work for a guy at Kentucky named Mitch Barnhart, who's still there, and he's probably one of my closest friends and a great mentor and man of great faith. And first conversation I ever had with him, the very first time I ever talked to Mitch Barnhart, I was still working at another school, and we were talking about the possibility of me going to Kentucky, and he was in a period of time where he was receiving a lot of public criticism for something that had gone on there at UK, and he made the comment to me that sometimes I get caught up worrying about that, but I got to realize that I perform for an audience of one. First time I'd ever heard that phrase, but an audience of one, meaning God, and that's so true. It's such a great reminder that at the end of the day, that's the only person we got to worry about pleasing. And we're going to make mistakes on earth. We're going to stumble. We're fortunate to serve a Father who forgives us and picks us back up and loves us.
That's right.
And sometimes when we just hear the public criticisms of people here on earth, we forget that.
Yes, we do. As a pastor, dealing with a lot of bosses, dealing with the politics.
I understand that, Tom.
You totally understand it. And that, Jesus struggled with that too. And it is a challenge. But I want to tell you that the waters behind us that are bubbling up, I know Christ is in you. You're full of the Holy Spirit, and it shows. And I want to thank you for your ministry on this road that you're on. And I know you started here and you're back here. What a great bookends of your life right now. Come through Auburn and Tulane and Baylor,
right,
and Kentucky.
Yes, good job.
Yeah, and you're back here. And these bricks right here remind us of the foundation that we came from.
Right.
It's beautiful.
Very
beautiful.
good.
Well, we want to thank you, Scott, for being with us on
Thank
the
you,
road
Tom.
in between.
I appreciate it, man. Thanks for being here on our campus today.
You got it. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Way to go.
Stick around. We'll be right back.
In today's world where most businesses and corporations' main mission is to simply make profit, CRM Companies differs itself by focusing on being successful in a way that also promotes growth and prosperity in the community. CRM Companies isn't simply a commercial development and management company. They create opportunities, they create jobs, they maximize the potential for growth and development of a better community, all while still providing great services and outstanding customer relations. Learn more about CRM Companies and their mission today. Visit crmco.com.
Coming up next on The Road in Between.
What's in a letter? If you're Mitchell Signs and Imprints, one letter means everything, and it's in the name. Mississippi Meridian. Mitchell Signs, Imprints. Two companies that help you reach your clients, whether it's big or small. And just like the name says, Mitchell Signs and Imprints are local. Meridian people, Mississippi pride. From quality signs to the perfect promotional product, see why Mitchell Signs and Imprints have been earning Mississippi's trust for more than 100 years. Check them out on Facebook for special deals and more information.
Welcome back to The Road in Between.
Okay, so when I hit a bunker shot, when I first step into the sand, I'm gonna really feel how much sand is underneath my feet. So if I have a lot of sand, the ball's typically gonna be able to fly pretty high. Whereas if there was not much sand, the ball's gonna come out pretty low. So just stepping in a bunker, you can kind of feel what type of shot you're gonna be able to hit. And then stepping up to the ball, you're gonna look and you're gonna see how much the ball is sitting up or sitting down, because that's obviously gonna dictate what you can do with it. And this lie is pretty good. So I think I'm gonna be able to get a little bit of roll, but a lot of it is gonna be trajectory, so I can flight this pretty close to the hole. So I'm just gonna step in with the club face pretty open. I got a lot of green to work with, so I can flight it as far as I want.
Well, today we're at Old Waverly. This is the southern beauty of golf and nature and life. We're hearing the birds, and I'm so glad to be today with Mississippi State University women's golf team coaches. We've got Ginger Brown, who is with us today, as well as Leigh Phillips, and their player, who is the star, one of the stars of their team, who is Ally McDonald, and want to welcome you and thank you for being on the Road in Between.
Thank you for having us. We're excited.
We're glad that y'all could share a little bit of your story. Now, this is your home course, is that right, at Old Waverly?
It is. We're blessed to have this as the crown jewel of our programs here.
It seems like Augusta when I was driving in. Not that I ever drove into Augusta, but it felt like it. It's just got a wonderful field, a lot of peace here. And this is where, you know, this is your ministry. This is your mission field in a way. And as coaches, you get to be with a number of players. If you could walk us through a little bit about where you came from and where you are today on this road in between, and what brought you to Mississippi State University. We'll start with Coach Brown.
I've been blessed. I grew up in a small town, Hope, Arkansas, and we lived on the 5th hole of a 9-hole course there, and grew up playing, and was blessed enough to play on a full scholarship at the University of Texas. And yeah, go Jordan, right? You know, I've spent my life playing and competing, and I missed my tour card 2 shots in a row, and went off the tracks quite a bit there for a while. And I actually sold shoes at Dillard's department store. And I share this story with some of my athletes when they go through a tough time, but it took selling shoes at Dillard's to be humbled and to figure out that, you know what, the good Lord made me, and I was not the score that I posted on that board, that it was okay, that I was God's child, and that I'm supposed to be a light, and that I can't let my success or failure be the result of that number. So I got into the PGA of America and got my Class A certification, and taught and ran golf courses and ran tournaments for years, but I really missed the competitive side. So after my babies were a certain age, I felt like I had a window of opportunity there, and the good Lord slung open a door to start coaching at Arkansas State, and was there for 2 years. And I'd been eyeballing this program at Mississippi State, and word got back to me that Christy Sanders was retiring after 23 years, really one of the few coaches that they had here. And I said, Lord, this would be an incredible opportunity. It's the style of community that we like. We're small town. We love the outdoors. If it be your will, I want you to know that I want that job. And I had this peace about me, and from day one, door after door flung wide open, and within just a few weeks I was in Starkville talking to them, and it's been an amazing journey. And after 5 years of being here, I would not be anywhere else. It's been a blessing to my family and I. It's been a blessing to have Coach Phillips. I did not mess up recruiting Ally McDonald in the early stages, so she's been a light for us for sure. And it's just a blessing all the way around. We've got an incredible, I know that you've talked to Scott Stricklin, the network of support that we have and the Christian atmosphere that we have. Now, mutually exclusive, they're not, being a Christian and competitive, because we're very competitive. But I think that we keep it in perspective too. We know that at the end of the day, we still have to be good people and treat people with respect and show Jesus' light. So I'm blessed to be around these two every day, that's for sure.
Well, you bring an incredible gift of leadership to this program. I want to thank you for that.
I'm the fortunate one.
Well, Leigh, you came on board after Coach Brown came here,
I did. I had the pleasure and honor to play golf here at Mississippi State, and I grew up a huge Mississippi State fan, so that was always my dream. And it's funny, my cousin pulled out the other day my newspaper article for my senior year, and it said, "In 10 years, where would you be?" And it says I'd be on the LPGA Tour. Well, obviously I'm not there. And you know, when I played golf here, I had an injury my sophomore year, and I found out I had to have my foot and ankle reconstructed. And I'll never forget that day, because you think, this isn't what I play golf, why am I hurt? And I remember I was at the health center, and I came out to my car, and my dad was there for a baseball game, and he left a note on my car, and he said, "Everything's going to be okay. God has a plan for you." And that year, when I was redshirting, my coach let me help her coach. She didn't have an assistant, so I helped with qualifying, and that's when I saw that I had the passion for coaching. So things work out. God has a plan, and my plans are sometimes not his, and that's okay, because change is a good thing. So I love what I do, and I'm very blessed.
That's fantastic. Well, Ally, you are at your senior year, and you have a chance to look back. Right now, you've got a few weeks left before you graduate and move on. Can you share with us a little bit about how a girl from Fulton, Mississippi ended up being one of the best in the world at your sport?
Well, honestly, I can't explain it. It's just been a weird process, just coming from such a small community and growing up at a 9-hole golf course like Coach, and just being surrounded by people who love God. And I was very, very fortunate to grow up in a Christian home, and my family have, they took me to church from day one and really appreciated everything that God had given me. So starting out, and when I was in the process of choosing a college, I knew I wanted to be close to home and to be around my family, because I'm very fortunate to have all of my grandparents and a brother who's younger than me, so I try to go watch him when I can. But just through all that, I've learned so much, and just to keep everything in perspective and to cherish what I'm given. So,
do you learn more through success or failure?
I think you learn more through failure, but you do learn through success as well. With failure, I think you really grasp what it is that you're trying to learn, because obviously you fail for a reason. But on and off the golf course, we learn from failures, whether it's, well, I hit it here one day, or maybe I shouldn't hit it there this time, or in life, well, I went to this place, maybe I shouldn't go there anymore. It's all kinds of things, and through failure, I think you learn, and you learn what to do right the next time. But also through success, I think, if you take it the wrong way, some people aren't, they take success and they run with it, and they run far from what God has called them to be. So with success, I think you have to know how to handle that, and just to be humble and experience things and give, obviously, the glory to God, because He's the one who's given it to you.
Fantastic. We were talking on the way up about your driver, and I was asking you which driver you hit, and you said a Ping G30. And I have a G15, but they keep getting better and better, and one of the things that they improve on is a key word. And you remember what we talked about?
The forgiveness of the club, yeah.
Forgiveness. It's all about forgiveness. You can't have enough forgiveness. So we keep improving that, and that is a great metaphor for us with golf and life. And we will purchase forgiveness. The good news, though, is that God purchased forgiveness for us. It's not what we do, it's what God did through Christ on the cross, and that forgiveness is everything. And this in-between time, you're trying to keep it in the fairway, and on each side is the rough and hazards and water. When you come to a tee box, how do you handle fear and where not to hit it, and focusing on where the mental side of the golf swing?
Yeah, I think a lot of golfers, it's very easy to get mechanical on the golf course. So you start thinking swing, and you start thinking all these other things, when all you have to think about is that target. And of course, it sounds easy, but it's very difficult, and sometimes you don't hit it where you want to. But it's actually really funny. The movie The Patriot, he says aim small, miss small. So a few years ago, my dad was like, that's a really good idea to take on the golf course, and I started writing it on my glove and just kind of remembering that. I don't ride it on my glove now, but it's just a really cool thing. So when you're on the golf course and you do have all these things, I think if you focus on the bad things, that's what will happen. So on the golf course, you just have to kind of aim small, find a small target, and then your misses will be smaller.
Very good. Curtis Cup. Share with us about what the Curtis Cup is for our viewers who aren't familiar, and what that experience was like, and just briefly. I know it was a long, exciting journey for you.
Yeah, so there's 8 girls chosen to represent the United States and 8 to represent Great Britain and Ireland. And you come together and you play kind of a Ryder Cup format. And the quote on the trophy is to have friendly rivalry. So that's what the tournament is about. It's just everyone to come together, and it's a competition, but it's all for fun.
Some people coach their entire life and are not fortunate enough to have a Curtis Cup selection. And so Coach Phillips and I were there with every step, enjoying all of it. I think I had goosebumps for 4 days straight. It was an honor. It was an honor.
It really is. Well, this road in between is not where you go it alone. You have people around you. You're flanked with 2, not only coaches, but big fans of yours, Ally. And we all support you. And as a Mississippi girl, we look forward to seeing where the Lord's going to lead you on and off the course. And I want to thank the 3 of you for sharing a little bit of your time with us at Old Waverly.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tom.
Great.
Stick around, we'll be right back.
Modern Outfitters. All things firearms, including premium outdoor brands for all outdoor enthusiasts and firearm collectors. Full-service custom shop, state-of-the-art indoor shooting facilities, training and consultation. Custom coatings and finishes, including Cerakote and Hydrofilm. Specialized optics, suppression, and thermal imaging systems. Premium gear, custom firearm systems, tailor-fit to your specific needs. That's Modern Outfitters. Find us on Facebook and modernoutfitters.com for more info and events.
Award-winning, quality, experience. Glass Incorporated's expert team can handle single window panes to entire high-rise buildings. Whether you need storefronts, glass replacement, mirrors, or shower enclosures, no job is too big or too small. Glass Incorporated, your commercial and residential glass experts. Locations in Meridian, Foley, Alabama, and the Mississippi Gulf Coast.
Welcome back to the Road in Between.
Wrap it in maroon and white. We have done that on this show, and it's been a terrific show. Great to be with so many personalities and people who have found their purpose at Mississippi State University. When I think about being wrapped in maroon and white, I'm thinking about Jesus Christ as well. And he was wrapped in that white linen, and that maroon of the blood of Christ that poured out upon that cross for you and for me reminds us that there is redemption, that there is hope. And that white linen is the resurrection cloth that we all are participants of because of his love and his mercy for us. As you go forth on your road in between, remember what you wrap your life around, and remember that Christ wraps his loving arms around each of us. So until next time, thank you for being with us on the road in between. Know that you go nowhere by accident. Wherever you go, God is sending you. God has a purpose in your being there, and he's given his Holy Spirit to you. Take care. We'll see you next time. The Road in Between is made possible thanks to these sponsors:
John O'Neill Johnson Motor Companies, Glass Incorporated, CRM Companies, Archer Architecture, Benchwarmer Grill, Benefits Management Group, Bright FX, Construction Services Incorporated, Cooper Concrete, Harvest Grill, Marcello Cranes, Mitchell Signs and Imprints, Modern Outfitters, Mississippi Beverage and Water, Nationwide Insurance with Richard Davis, Woodstock Furniture.
Thoughts keep running through my head as I walk this road with nothing ahead. The sun beams down on my face as I walk this road that leads to amazing grace.